Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. We are here. It's a nice warm day, the day I'm recording this, not the day you're hearing it. But I'm just glad the summer is upon us and things are going well. Hopefully they're going well for all of you. As always, we're sponsored by Health West, great organization. Give them a Google, find where they're closest to you and your loved ones, and see what they can do for you guys. All right. We're also sponsored by New Clean Commercial Cleaning and Commercial Cleaning Services, companies I own. A little shameless plug I've got to throw in there. So if you need any of your janitorial needs, carpet cleaning, janitorial services, anything through Southeast Idaho, give us a holler. Give us a call at 208-254-7070. And if you tell us that you heard about us on the podcast, we'll throw in some extra service that's going to be unique to you, absolutely for free. So give us a holler, take us up on that. All right. This last month, my focus has been getting our new CRM system dialed in, and I'm not the one doing it. I'm the one overseeing it and wanting to make sure certain aspects are taken care of. But it's been important that certain aspects are being dialed in the way that I want them. We've got smart people involved and people that are taking care of all those things. But as a leader of the company, I know it's my place to step in to make sure it's done appropriately. One thing that I've seen in our business, and I'm sure in other businesses, because I've seen it happen as being a consumer on my end, when leads come through your funnel, your sales funnel, and you're thinking, well, funnel, what are you talking about? I'm talking about when you generate a lead by either word of mouth, something you did on internet, something, Facebook ad, something, just something you posted. Maybe you generated something that for someone to call you and say, hey, I want to get a bid from this service or this company. Okay, cool. That's a lead. You've created a funnel for them to call. Hopefully it's just one call to action that you're putting together on these ads. So it's making it very concise and an easy format for them to take action on. So when a lead comes in, we're excited, right? We want those things to happen. But what happens? I don't want to get ahead of myself. But when a lead comes in, it's either our sales team that takes care of it, or maybe it's you as the owner of the company, or if you're the sales manager and you're listening to this, that's you. Okay, how do you handle it? Okay, well, I'm sure you have a process by now. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, I'm going to go do maybe a pre-screening call when they call. Okay, is this a lead that's actually going to lead to something? Sometimes they're just leads that like, that's kind of what we do, but we don't provide that service. So I would recommend you call this service. That I would still count that as a lead, number one, if you're tracking leads. But then if it is a lead that turns out to be like, hey, yeah, this is our services, I'm sure you, like I said, have a system that you're following little by little, no matter what you're selling, service or product, that you're going through. Now, what happens though, because a single lead, for that day or even for a couple of days is, it's kind of easy to handle, right? It's hard to let something like that slip through the cracks. What happens when you have a busier week and you have quite a few leads pop through? And some of you businesses know what I'm talking about because you're in an industry that you are constantly getting leads every day. Some of us aren't getting leads every day. Maybe it's a few every month, depending on the service or product you're selling. Uh, but some can identify with this more than others. But there's times that you're like, okay, I've got quite a bit of leads coming in. And if you don't have a CRM system set up, something to automatically follow up on leads, saying, hey, or remind you to follow up on leads, like, hey, this lead came in X amount of days ago. You've taken this action. You are due to take this action next, or you're waiting for the customer to take this action. Maybe you need to prompt the customer to take this action next. That's helpful. But if you don't have that in place, you're set to your paper forms, or hey, Siri, remind me to do this, which is fine. But I'm telling you now, as you get bigger, your CRMs are going to be important to establish and get in place. So what do you do? What do you do when that happens? Well, either your leads fall between the cracks and you'll completely forget about them. I've had that happen. I had that happen when I was trying to build a building. Contractor was, putting together a substantial bid for me, and just stopped communicating. Just stopped communicating all the way, altogether. I would email him, I would text him, I would call him, nothing. I'm like, okay, I'm the customer trying to remind this, this business to come do business for me, and they're not responding. Okay, number one, that's if your systems are that flawed, you've got some explaining to do. You've got to really reconsider what you're doing, because you're leaving copious amounts of money on the table, and you might not be in business long if you're doing that kind of stuff. Research has shown that only 20% of sell leads are ever followed up on. In other words, 80% of potential opportunities are lost without trace simply due to lack of follow-up. People in companies who don't follow up, who do nothing to build up that trust and relationship, cannot succeed. I totally agree with that. I found that just within the marketing donut.co.uk today. It's so true. People, we are short-term memory, short-term. We want immediate gratification. If it doesn't happen right then, it's not going to happen for us. Man, but they don't realize if sometimes, I don't want to say sometimes, but majority of the time, a lead isn't turned into a sell until, a bid isn't turned into a sell until after probably the 5th or to 8th follow-up. And you got to know how to follow up without being annoying and still showing that you're adding value to that consumer's life. If you're B2B, B2C, there's different techniques to go about this. And we'll have some guests on that hopefully elaborate and to help us learn more about those techniques here in the future. But that's a big one, guys. Don't let leads slip through the cracks, especially when a lead has turned into a bid. And now you're just steps away from it becoming to a sell. You're dropping the ball. You're dropping the baton. Like, really? Right before it becomes a sell, just because you haven't got a yes right off the bat within the first week or within the first contact. Come on, guys and gals, like, you're better than that. Like, I've met, and I'm telling you now, I'm saying this out of straight trial and error. I've made the mistakes. Learn from me how not to do things, but you got to follow up. So put it into your CRM. CRMs, you can literally say, okay, a lead will come in. You can turn, if that lead turns into a bid, you transfer that into, that all goes in line with your CRM, and the CRM knows it's a bid, and then it knows when a bid's been opened. It knows when it's been reviewed. If it hasn't been opened, it'll start a chain of reaction. Like, okay, if it hasn't been reviewed by this point, it'll start sending emails or text messages, and you can make them, say whatever you need to say, and do research. Don't make it just be, hey, I want to follow up, yada yada yada. Do something to add more value to these people's lives. So do that, and then it's just a trickle down system that you're doing. You're setting up this follow-up system that's automated, and it's not you having to remember. And then as soon as this bid or this lead comes back online, like, hey, boom, resurfaces, I'm ready. Then that CRM's like, boom, brings it to the top of your mind as a big notification saying, hey, this person's ready. He's in pain again, or she's in pain again. Let's seal a deal on this. And that way you're not losing out on income. Too many times we have too many of these in our pipeline that are just like, we've given bids to, and then they go below the surface and we forget about them. And they forget about us because we forget to follow up on them. And then they find another service provider or another business that can provide that product for them that they feel is going to give them better customer service because you're not following up. So hopefully these are going to be helpful for you guys, these steps and this information as we talk about that today, because taking these steps, and these CRMs are not a lot of money. They're maybe $100 a month or something like that to put in play. And if you're a small company, and if you're just starting out, make sure you're putting everything down on, hey, Google, remind me to do this. Hey, Siri, remind me to do this. Whatever it is, just to make sure you have something that you're remembering to do the important things. Because we're all over the place, and sometimes just writing it down on our desk doesn't work. I've got notes all over my desk. My desk is an absolute mess right now. I need to clean it after this, but they're not with me all the time. What's always with you? Your phone. That's why my CRM app is there reminding me, hey, this person, check up on this person, or Siri's remind me of this, or Google's remind me of this. Everything's on a calendar for me. Everything's set at on this device that tells me what I need to know. So when I retire, I'm going to go back to a flip phone. I'm not going to check my emails. I'm going to do all that kind of stuff. I'm going to eliminate all that stuff from my life. But for now, it's important that I have all this stuff at my disposal. So go out there today, guys. Make some change happen. If you're listening to me and you've listened to me for months or years now, and you're like, oh man, this guy's got some good ideas, and maybe he's a little crazy, but maybe he's got some good points that we should take some action on. Take action. Take action now, and don't just keep listening, thinking that eventually I'll do something. Eventually you'll never will. So make it a deadline for yourself, saying I will take action by this point, by this date, by this time, it will be done. So go out there, be happy, be grateful, find opportunities to serve others, and have a great week. And in this hot weather, go enjoy the sunshine, get out with your family, your loved ones, and enjoy your days and your evenings. See you guys.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.